Well, thank you all for being here. How we doing today? What a great day to be in Texas. Greg, thank you very much. Jim, thank you for the welcome. It's great to have your two great senators here as well. Thanks for joining us today. And on behalf of the Department of War, we are here to look you in the eye and to thank you for what you do every day. Because our job is to have the back of the warfighters. Our job is to make sure they have everything they need, as Greg said, so they're never in a fair fight. But they can't do that without you. You are a core function of the arsenal of freedom. It's not just the door kickers and the guys dropping bombs. It's not just the intel analysts and the mechanics all wearing camouflage that are critically important to our nation. It is all of you and the thousands of people that you represent who've dedicated your lives to precision, to skill, to work in a hard hat, to deliver capabilities for the warfighter. And for too long, under previous administrations, we thought we could outsource those capabilities to other countries, or we could live in a global environment where those skills didn't matter anymore. And under President Trump, well, those days are over. We live in a realistic world. We live in a realistic world where if you want American strength, you better have American manufacturing. And it better be world class. And of course, it is in this country when we unleash our companies, when we unleash industry, when we unleash our competitive spirit, America will come out on top. That's our job, is to unleash you just like we're unleashing our warfighters. And President Trump's been really clear, in case you're not paying attention. His guiding principles are, if I were to summarize three of them, it would be America and Americans first. America and our country, its security, its citizens, its workers first. Setting the conditions for you to succeed, securing our people and our country and our interests, starting with our hemisphere and our homeland. Makes a lot of sense to me. Number two is peace through strength. At the War Department, we are the Strength Department. Our job is to be that hammer when necessary, hopefully to never have to use it. The whole idea is deterrence. You want peace through deterrence. If you have to use it, you fight and you win overwhelmingly. And third is common sense, which is not so common in Washington, D.C. But in the Trump administration, when you look out at the problem set and you realize, hey, making things here and making them well at scale and at volume and at speed is critical. Protecting critical industries is important to our success on the battlefield. That common sense is applied every single day. The other place we're applying common sense is in our priorities of the department. First is we're reviving the warrior ethos. We want to get rid of the distractions and the debris. No more DEI. No more dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship and social justice and political correctness. We're done with that. We're unleashing the warfighter to be ready, trained, disciplined, accountable, and lethal. When you allow them to do that, they're incredibly good at their job, as the world has seen and as a indicted criminal in Venezuela found out about a week ago. What America can do is like no other country in the world. And that's really important to us. We want to allow commanders to be commanders again, to make those critical decisions, and to hear from commanders on the ground. And we have an opportunity in our office to talk to commanders who say, hey, we've never felt this supported before, ever, in our time in command, under President Trump and under the War Department. You're allowing us the authorities to go out and do what we have to do. You're clearing out the debris. That's our job. Our job is to make our warfighters as capable as they can be by giving them everything they need and then getting out of their way when it comes to mission accomplishment. Number two, we're rebuilding our military. That's why we're doing the Arsenal of Freedom tour. That's why we're here in Texas. We were in Los Angeles. We were in Mississippi. We're going to go across the country over the next couple of months, talking to companies, to industry, to manufacturing, large, and didn't get any bigger than this, can't see the end of it. Large and small, we need them all. And we need them moving fast, at scale, at cost, open architecture, so we can outcompete our adversaries. We are rebuilding the arsenal of freedom. President Trump did it in his first term, and we're going to do it again. We had a historic budget last year. I don't know if you saw, the president announced the goal of $1.5 trillion for our national defense in 2027. That is a message to the world. Now, we're going to spend every dime of that wisely. We're going to find every savings that we can in the couch cushions to make sure we're squeezing everything possible into the best capabilities in the world, like the ones you build here, and a quality of life for our troops who deserve the very best, whether it's barracks or pay, quality of life. We ought to be and need to be investing in them even more. Reviving the warrior ethos, rebuilding the military, and reestablishing deterrence, which is something this airframe has been involved in from the beginning of this administration, and for long before that as well. But when you lose your way about what American leadership looks like, it invites chaos and challenge in the world, which is what we saw under the Biden administration. Whether it was the disastrous withdrawal in Afghanistan that had reverberated around the globe as far as the image of our country, whether it was what happened on October 7th with Hamas in Israel, or the war in Ukraine, which never would have happened if President Trump were president, the world saw an open invitation for challenge. Didn't feel like America was prepared to do what it would do in the past. Not to mention the fact that our ships were being shot at around the world, and we weren't responding. So the first thing we had to do at the War Department was to reestablish that deterrence on behalf of our country. And it started, frankly, from day one on the border. Securing our border and locking it down. We've gone 7 months with 0 crossings at the southern border. Credit to CBP, credit to our law enforcement partners and ICE and others who do very difficult jobs every day. The Department of War is proud to stand beside them and ensure they can do their job, and we've done it from the first day at the border. We also did it through our effort with the Houthis in Operation Rough Rider. From the beginning, some people thought, well, what are we doing there? Why the Houthis? Because the Biden administration allows our commercial shipping and other shipping, military ships, to be shot at. I mean, all the way back to Thomas Jefferson, we've understood that free navigation to the seas is a core tenet of the United States of America. Yet they just sort of allowed that to happen as if it didn't matter. These airframes and others helped bomb the Houthis for 50 days, and they cried uncle. So we're not going to shoot at your ships anymore. And American ships around the world and in that region sail freely. Peace through strength, reestablishing deterrence. If you look at Iran and what President Trump said about their nuclear capabilities, he said Iran will never have a nuclear bomb. Iran didn't want to pay attention to that or believe him, and then exactly to the day, 60 days later, 7 beautiful B-2s went 37 hours, dropped 14 precision munitions, escorted by this beautiful fighter on their final leg to show the world what America is capable of. Peace through strength, deterrence in action. So, yeah. You see the same thing with narco-terrorists in our own hemisphere. For how long have we been talking about going after drugs and the poisoning of the American people? And for the longest time, it was a catch-and-release program, a law enforcement function, while these narco-terrorists and designated terrorist organizations specifically targeted our communities, our kids, and our people in our country. They knew exactly what they were doing. So instead of the catch-and-release, we let them know if you're going to sail drugs in international waters, we will target your drug boats and we will sink them. There haven't been many boats sunk recently because we can't find boats to sink, because no one wants to get in a narco boat, which is the whole point. Stop sending your drugs to our country and poisoning the American people. And then the whole world saw just over a week ago what our incredible military is capable of at every echelon when we brought the indicted nominal leader of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, from the most fortified house in the most fortified location inside their biggest fort in their capital city in the middle of the night without them knowing we were there until 3 minutes before. Grabbed him and brought him to New York City within 24 hours to justice. Let me tell you, no other military on planet Earth could pull off what our incredible warriors did. And all of that brings me back to why I'm here looking all of you in the eye. And I'm not trying to not make eye contact with this incredibly important and good-looking group up front. It's not about these folks. It's about the men and women who poured their lives and careers into building these incredible machines and ensuring at the War Department we create an environment where you can do your job as quickly and efficiently as possible. And that means ensuring in a highly bloated bureaucracy, and that's what the Pentagon is very good at: paperwork and bureaucracy and process. It's a giant headquarters, and many of you are veterans. I think 20% of this company are veterans, which is incredible. You've been to headquarters. Headquarters move paper. You can imagine the amount of paper we move at the Pentagon. There's process for process for process, meetings that exist for meetings for meetings. You can imagine how difficult it is to move at speed or efficiently in that environment. Our job, and President Trump has directed us to do this, is to overturn the entire way we do business to ensure that we get the 85% solution, the best of the best, in the hands of the warfighter as quickly as possible, as opposed to waiting years and years and years and spending tens of billions of dollars more for some perfect solution 15 years off in the future that never gets into the hands of the warfighter. We're changing the game to incentivize speed, to incentivize efficiency, competition, open architecture, at cost, ensuring that big companies like this one and small ones can compete. And I've had some pretty tough words to say, and the president had put out an executive order just a couple of days ago about how big defense prime contractors in this country need to step up. And he's right. And he's looking out. I'm looking out into an incredible audience of Americans here who are committed to an incredible company that's built incredible platforms. And I think, and I know, and I believe that Lockheed will step up. Because we've seen it already in what's happened with the records on this line this year. What happened with the deal on PAC-3s and the investment that this company is making. Listen, you're even working while I'm speaking. I appreciate that. It's fantastic. Keep going. We ultimately don't care what the name is on the side of the missile or of the plane or of anything that's made at the War Department. We just want the best. And our expectation is that every company competes. And every company competes on a level playing field. I don't care how many lobbyists you have, how many accountants you have. If you create the best and the fastest at cost on behalf of taxpayers and the warfighters, you're going to win. That's President Trump's War Department. And I hope, based on what Lockheed Martin can do, that you win a lot. Because you make incredible, exquisite platforms. And our job is to create the environment where you can run and run fast. And where your leadership knows that it's not just about Wall Street and dividends and stock buybacks. It's about the warriors and what we can deliver as fast as possible to them. And they're patriots. They know that. So we're changing that incentive structure for the entirety of the industry across defense to make sure. President Trump's deadly serious about this. He feels the urgency of the moment, and so do I. We've got to build. We've got to rebuild that arsenal of freedom. We've got to go fast. The warfighters need it. They deserve it. We've got new peer adversaries that are building at record speed. We have the best workforce in the world, the best engineers, the best entrepreneurs, the best innovators. It's this crowd right here. And so the Arsenal of Freedom Tour is meant to speak to you and your peers and to tell you to keep going. Go fast. Take risks. Be ambitious. Invest your capital up front and know that there will be a demand signal from the Department of War to have you keep running. So I want to give my appreciation to the leadership here of this company that has taken that demand signal and is running with it. That's exactly what we want. And we're going to give the same message to small companies and medium-sized companies. Join us in this sprint. The urgency of the moment requires it. The war fighters need it, and they need it yesterday. So thank you very much for inviting us here and having us here. Thank you for the accepting and grasping the challenge of President Trump, as well as our department, whether it's R&E or A&S, that everybody, my charge to my team is to do everything they can with this precious moment we have to rip the bureaucracy out and streamline the process so that we can get in the hands of the war fighters what they need today. So thank you all so much for what you do, for why you're doing it. I've had a chance to meet a number of you who have kids or grandkids in the service. Many of you have served yourself. We are shoulder to shoulder with you because we can't deter the next conflict without the skills and capabilities that you have. I'll end by saying what President Trump said over the radio to the incredible Americans who went to downtown Caracas. He simply said, "Good luck and Godspeed." I know you don't need good luck. You're good at what you do. But Godspeed, because we need the capabilities you're creating here, and our job is to ensure you have everything you need in that process. God bless. Thank you very much.